Hi, I'm Aaron Friend. I'm going to teach you a little bit about making a Russian style juggling ball. I'll take you on my journey of experimentation. So, first off, a play pit ball. A play pit ball comes in two different sizes, the 3-inch and the smaller 65 millimeter version. Okay, so these are great for making Russian style balls because the shell is thin and light. I start off by drilling a hole. My first experiment, I drilled a hole. I used salt because salt is finer and lighter than sand. So I used salt enough to fill it about 1/3. I used this funnel, filled it, and then I taped it. I taped it with electrical tape. It's a cool looking ball, but it doesn't last very long. This tape is not the right kind of adhesive for this kind of ball. This ball is flexible and it just doesn't last. So the next thing I came upon was glue, hot glue specifically. This hot glue gun came with clear regular glue and brown super glue. The super glue worked great. This ball is over 1.5 years old. It sat in the sun, it's been outside in all kinds of weather. It's held together really well. It's just ugly. It's just a big old booger over the hole, and it's a little bit ugly. Okay, so the next ball is equally ugly, my next experiment. I use this, and, this soldering iron. I cut a hole in the same way, filled it with salt in the same way. Then I took a circle that I'd cut from another play pit ball and melted it with this soldering iron over the existing hole in this ball. The fumes are toxic. It releases a toxic plastic melting smoke. It makes an ugly, inconsistent cover. I've seen people that get better with it. I don't want to experiment with it anymore. It's just toxic and gross. And I'm not that pretty. A much easier and less toxic way to go is to take a play pit ball, cut an X in it with a knife like this, fill it in the same way with a funnel and salt. By bike patches, there are little clear circles of plastic that are adhesive and made specifically to stick onto a bike tire, inner tube. You'd think that'd be really, really sticky, and it is for a while, but these balls are flexible. So after about 2 weeks of steady juggling, they start to fail. You can prevent that by wrapping them with the electrical tape. A combination works pretty good, and that's a pretty good ball. I wouldn't sell them, but they're pretty good for workshops. One thing, kids will sometimes squeeze these balls, so make sure you tell them beforehand, don't squeeze the ball, because it'll destroy it. You can break them real easy if you just squeeze them. You don't want to do that. A solution to that is the tennis ball. You can take a tennis ball, wrap it in balloons, and do basically the same thing. You just cut a hole in it, you can put pennies in it or sand. That's a different kind of ball. It's not really a Russian ball, but it's a good solid ball for workshops, if you're teaching workshops. My favorite Russian style ball of the play pit ball variety is this one. You drill the hole, you fill it with the salt, then you take a locking plastic cap. This locking cap, you push into the hole and it locks itself in place, and you've got an excellent seal. It doesn't let the salt out. A little bit of glue with this cap and you've got an even better seal. If you have a perfect seal, you're going to want to puncture it with a very small pin on the other side just so it can expand and contract with the heat. So this is a great Russian style juggling ball. These little plugs are pretty inexpensive as well. You can order them online from a plastic manufacturer. These are real Russian balls. These are from Play. They are excellent. They're a harder, thicker rubber shell, not as hard as a stage ball, but nice and soft, but also sturdy. They hold their shape. They're round, but you can squeeze them, and they are 1/3 filled with salt, just like these. So they are good for foot catches, dead drops, and blind behind the back, those kind of things that you can do really well with Russian balls. The gentle medium between these two, these are $15 for one. These are $150 for $15. So, Gentle medium is this, a 99-cent dog ball. This is my favorite ball. This is why I made this tutorial. I'm going to show you this ball in particular. This is a 99-cent dog ball from a pet store. It's squeaky. That's great, because that chamber that makes the squeak is right here in the hole. It just drops down a little bit deeper, and it makes a chamber for that squeak. That chamber is excellent. You do the same thing. I like to use sand for these because they're a little bit heavier shell, and the sand is a little bit heavier, so I can still use 1/3 of the ball's fill, but get a little bit heavier action with the sand. So I like sand for this kind of ball. Take 1/3. I like 1/3 cup, actually. I just wipe it off and make it nice and even to the top, wipe it off, and they usually come out to about 130 grams per ball. So 1/3 cup of sand, put it in with the funnel in the same way. Then you take elastometric sealant. It is a roofer's caulk. This comes in clear, and it is great. It lasts for 5 years on a hot metal roof, so it's going to do great on your little rubber ball. You fill the void on the inside, the squeaky void, and then you wipe off the excess on the top, and you have a very nice little plug of clear silicone. It is excellent. So you've got your elastometric sealant, your 99-cent dog ball, and your sand. And you've made some pretty inexpensive, excellent Russian style balls. The one drawback of a Russian style ball is you can't body roll them very well, because that sand is designed for the dead drop. So you can take this same ball and fill it all the way with sand. Now you've got a ball that you can both body roll, and because of its weight, it still has a fairly decent dead drop. Not as good as the normal Russian, but pretty good. You can still foot catch these and do all kinds of cool stuff with these. They're kind of heavy though. But the normal 1/3 filled with sand Russian style ball with a squeaky dog ball is great. It's almost as good as the professional ball. It's very, very similar and much cheaper. Have fun. Enjoy.